Big Brain Bouts number 126 on the 14th of August 2026. Let's do it.
Let's get it on.
Top right side of Washout, we are looking at the main base of our German legend. Kicking things off as he's spawning. And the blue, it is ShoWTimE. Bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of our very own Canadian Protoss, who's been living in Korea for over a year at this point. It is BASILISK Trigger. Just a little heads up for the YouTube audience, or for people who maybe have just joined the stream. Unfortunately, I've been very under the weather in the last 24 hours, and I've been feeling like absolute hell. A little fever, I've been sweating a lot, been all over the place, so I'm a tiny bit out of it. But I'm still going to do my best to cover these games, have some fun, and obviously we're going to make the gamers happy. I still give people something to watch on the Friday evening. I feel like the first two series were still fun, we had a good time. And let's hope that this main event delivers. PvP is obviously a bit of a crapshoot. Sometimes it's absolutely amazing, and sometimes it can be a bit boring, one-sided, it can be over quickly. Let's hope we're on the right side of that coin flip, as this man did win the server coin flip. So we're going to play West Central, and if we get to game 5, that will also be on West. I don't know how, take a little look. Historically, I would say, I guess, kind of back and forth. There was a time where I think Trigger was doing really hot in PvP. But different patch, different meta. What we do know about ShoWTimE, guys, that ShoWTimE played a lot of Zero Space over the last few weeks. I actually asked him for a Big Brain Bouts either last week or the week before. I forgot when it was exactly. But he declined, which is very rare, because most of the time ShoWTimE is always in. And he said, like, nah, sorry, I'm only playing Zero Space at the moment. He was participating in the Creators Tournament. Had a good run. If I am not mistaken, he finished second. He lost in the grand final of the Zero Space tournament against Marine Lord, former Starcraft 2 Pro from France, who's now obviously an Age of Empires 4 legend. ShoWTimE finishing second goes to show that the man is talented and is good in learning new things. But that tournament has ended, and I think he was ready to play some Starcraft again. Earlier today, played in the Pigsty Festival. And in case some of you guys want to watch it back, I won't go into details. It's been a long day of Starcraft for him. Let's put it like that. This man obviously is going to be part of our team for the GSTL. That announcement came out like 2 days ago. We have 5 teams signing up, fighting over a pretty serious prize pool, where the grand finals will actually be happening offline in Korea as well. So that's going to be really cool. I believe it's starting already in a couple of days, but our first play day is in like 2 weeks. Of course, the Bastards lineup is the one that you guys are used to. Serral, Reynor, and Trigger. I'm listed as well, but it's obviously not the intention that I'm going to play any games. I will only play if there's truly an emergency or there's no other way. So it's always worth putting me on the lineup. I'm mostly there making sure that the guys have everything that they need. And I hope to see the guys in Korea in a little over a month. There will be other moments for that, Michelle. When I can play with the fishies. But there's like a bunch of other... If they ever have run a Veterans Cup or like a 40+ Cup, I'm all over it. But if I look at the other players in the GSTL, you know, you look at Lambo, you look at Maru, you look at Hero. Don't think I really belong. And I'm okay with that. Because I have a lot of faith in our guys. That's just not true, I don't. That is not true at all. Alrighty, Trigger going for a Twilight Council. He's got Blink on the way. ShoWTimE, his Twilight is finishing up on the other side of the map. And he's going to fire up Blink too. So far these two are mirroring each other. The only real difference is that ShoWTimE has gone triple sentry. So lots of hallucinated phoenixes to scout. Can maybe make that trademark move out with a couple of sentries where they drop some force fields. It does feel like the build of ShoWTimE has just been like a tiny bit more optimal than the one of Trigger. ShoWTimE has a minor lead. Nexus was quite a bit quicker. Kind of missed on how we got there. I guess Trigger built extra units and ShoWTimE just dropped the Nexus a bit quicker before building the extra units. Which I think is kind of safe on a large map like Washout. Even if on this version the 3-gate pressure can be quite powerful. Sometimes the 3-gate even turns into the 4-gate. If the aggressive player feels that whoever they are attacking has expanded a tiny bit too early. Come back to Melbourne, Roddy. they ever run another Starcraft tournament in Australia and they want me there, then there's a good chance that I'll be there. Another option would be if Roddy, his poker career takes off and we go to the Aussie Millions. It is very prestigious. So Australia is so far, mate. I don't think I could survive. You can find that GSTL thing in Liquipedia. Is there a link? There should be a link. They have just made it public. I saw people discussing it in the Discord. I've obviously been aware of it for a couple of weeks. They often like reach out to everyone, see who's available, see if it works, and once they got the yes, they got the okay, that's when they are going to finalize the schedule. And I think they just publicly announced it a couple of days ago. But the TLDR of it, mate, is 5 teams. You have Shopify with the usual lineup. You have Basilisk. Clem is not playing with Team Liquid, but he's playing with Solar, Percival, and a 4th member, and they call themselves Team No GG. So Percival, Classic, I think. Percival, Solar, Classic, and Clem are playing as No GG. Then I think Cure is playing together with Hero and maybe SOS. And then there is Onside, of course, playing with Maru and Zaun, etc. So we'll be playing in a different format against each other online, and then the grand finals is happening offline towards the end of September. September 28th, if I'm not mistaken. So really hope that Basilisk is going to be there. Would be amazing to see Trigger, Serral, and Reynor in Korea. And hopefully lifting a trophy in Seoul. Wouldn't that be cool? ShoWTimE is going to make his first serious attack of this series as he's here with an Immortal. 15 Blinky boys. Now Trigger has his own defensive Immortal. He's got the same amount of Blink Stalkers. I feel like Trigger should be able to keep it together. Like these two guys both have incredibly good micro. Forward Blink by ShoWTimE. He wants that Immortal quickly and he gets the Immortal of Trigger. Is that forward Blink then good enough to straight up win the game? Normally I would say that should not be a thing with these shield batteries. Healing these units up a little bit in the top left side of our screen. And that one Immortal though, having that Immortal still alive is massive. Trigger, there is no barrier to worry about. I think Trigger could go for that Immortal now. Oh, the barrier comes back online right before the end. Makes it a bit more difficult for the Canadian Protoss to gun down that Immortal. And is that then the difference that ShoWTimE was looking for? Now there's a new Immortal. I think Trigger in the end is fine. Lost 6 workers, but it's 3 base against 3 base. And the game will go on. Of course, on this patch, the live version of StarCraft 2, not to be confused with the patch or any other patch that we had in the past. You don't need a gateway anymore. You just use this pylon for the quick warp-ins. Very even fight in the end. Trigger losing some probes, but good macro. About as even as it should be. I mean, we'll see Idra at BlizzCon against MC, but I don't think Idra is going to sign up for Team Leagues anytime soon. But that would have been a cool announcement if suddenly EG would make a new return. I mean, the EG boys from the past sign up for a Team League. Idra, Thorazane, Hawk, DeMusliM. Right, that'd be a team. Don't think they do very well against the likes of Serral, Reynor, Clem, Solar, Maru, but it'd be very cool to see them fight on the same banner one more time. I'm happy with the start though, guys, of our main event. 9 minutes in, I feel like this is still very competitive. Trigger is keeping his gateways as regular gateways for now. They are of course powered by Warp Gate technologies, so they build units a lot quicker. ShoWTimE has already morphed basically all of his gateways into Warp Gates. So he paid a tiny tax. He does have 8 gates, by the way. That's a pretty serious lead. Actually has 6 gateways more at the moment than Trigger. Don't think Trigger should be too aggressive. The scout here is good though, because now he sees a couple of adepts, and these adepts, they technically don't make too much sense. Unless ShoWTimE is obviously gearing up for a monstrous attack with a crazy amount of adepts and resonating glaives. Now if you're going up against that, what is really good is static defenses. The only problem is, make sure that your opponent actually attacks you where you have the static defense. And if you're a 4 base Protoss, can you really somehow cover 4 bases with cannons and batteries? That's very difficult. That observer was in surveillance mode, but ShoWTimE is going to pick it up in the end because he put his own observer in surveillance mode, so he gave himself a tiny bit of extra range on the detection. That was kind of cute. 24 Stalkers and 3 Immortals against 15 Stalkers, 2 Immortals, but 20 Adepts. I'm actually really curious how this is gonna go. More often than not, when it's close, the Adept player wins. But what Trigger does have, guys, is some batteries, lots of batteries even, and a couple of cannons here and there. It really just kind of comes down to where they fight, how they fight, and what the Adepts are shooting at. 30 Stalkers, 3 Immortals. A cannon dies rather quickly, and that's a little bit annoying. There's a good chance that ShoWTimE is just going to let one of these Adept Shades finish up and then blink forward himself. He didn't move the Adepts further forward, which I'm a tiny bit surprised by, but he does kill one of the Immortals rather quickly. This is going to be a really difficult hold for Trigger, man. Even if I feel like he's done a lot of things right, he does have +1, just like the German Protoss has. A magical number of Stalkers on the side of our Canadian. As he blinks forward, kills another unit. ShoWTimE does still have the Prism. There's a lot of cannons and batteries here, but he goes for the pylon. And he actually on-powering 2 batteries rather quickly. He wants to get the other pylon as well, and he's going to get that pylon too. So 4 out of the 6 shield batteries are completely unpowered now. And ShoWTimE for a split second made it look like he wanted to go for a forward shade. In the end, he decides against it. Trigger needs to repower all the static defenses, guys. Does still have a lot of Stalkers though. Perhaps our Canadian Protoss with the ping advantage here in game 1 of the main event is gonna keep it together. What an impressive hold. So damn difficult to deal with these resonating glaive adept builds in PvP. But Trigger keeps it together, blinks forward, kills the Immortal, kills the War Prism. And even if this fight looks close now, it's always good news for Trigger, who's a 4 base Protoss against 3. Both of them going for +2. The only thing, by the way, Trigger still only with 4 gateways. Only 4 gates. He has produced all of this of just 4 gateways, powered by warp gate technology. Crazy boost to the production time. Nuts. Legitimately nuts that you can keep up with 4 gates against 8 or 9 warp gates. For some reason it's only 8. One of them has been chilling for a while. As Trigger hits us with the pause. He says that he has lag when he's very close, I think, to winning this game. Fantastic hold. Legitimately a fantastic hold. Perhaps ShoWTimE the very first time here. I think that was perhaps the most impactful moment when he shaded all these depths forward. He should have gone deeper. Instead of like letting the shade finish up here, let it finish up over here, blink forward into this little square. And then I think he straight up wins. Well, whenever you are playing Resonating Glaive Adepts, you're on the clock. Things need to happen sooner rather than later. And Stalkers just skill better than Resonating Glaive Adepts. Kind of insane, like how strong the production is of just 4 gateways. It legit feels that Trigger has outproduced ShoWTimE with 4 gateways against 8 warp gates. I don't know why ShoWTimE has had this one French gateway. It's been on strike since the very beginning. Yeah. Should be a Trigger victory at this point. What can ShoWTimE do? I don't really think there's a whole lot he can do. He's economically behind. He doesn't really have any map presence. He doesn't have any vision. There isn't a great comeback tool against a lot of Blink Stalkers. The only thing that's really good against Blink Stalkers is just an expensive, tacked up army. A mixture maybe between Disruptors, Immortals, and your own Blink Stalkers. But ShoWTimE simply doesn't have the economy for that. That is just not going to happen. I think that Dima or ShoWTimE knows that Trigger is going to look at this army, and honestly I think he can blink forward. Why not? Sees the first Immortal, gets it. Sees the second Immortal, and he gets it. And I'm quite confident that the Canadian Protoss is going to wipe the floor with these remaining blue Protoss units from ShoWTimE. It's a lot of extra Adepts coming in, but Adepts, they don't do that good against Stalkers in a straight up fight if there is no support for them. They don't have any Immortals on their side anymore. They don't have their own Stalkers fighting with them. And it's Trigger who takes the 1-0 lead. So I missed Neep. How did it go? Neep was, I think, in winning positions in at least 2 out of the 3 games. Like game 1 was kind of all Nico. But I think game 2 and game 3 could have gone Neep's way. Like those were not bad games. It's just that, yeah, Nico was able to keep it together and turn things around. Where I felt like he was definitely in trouble. Both in game 2 and game 3, I think he was in trouble. But I'd say deserved victory for Nicorok in the end. Don't think Ni played bad. Just a couple of missed opportunities, and Nico is really good. It's just like he's not as big of a name as, you know, some of the other guys that we've been watching for years or legends from the past. But Nico, if he's feeling it, he's a tiny bit inconsistent. And like in a way, Nico can be a tiny bit like Reynor. Obviously not the same, different race and very different careers. But Reynor one day is never quite the same as Reynor on another day. And for Nicorok, I feel like kind of the same thing applies. There are some days when Nicorok truly looks like he's, you know, one of the best 7 Terran players on the planet. Maybe on some rare days, even one of the best 5. And then there are other days where it feels like he's not even top 10. Today, Nico was very good. And that was unfortunate for Nip.
Round 2, fight!
Bottom right side of Eternity's Edge. We are looking at the main base of our German Protoss. Could not get it done, despite the fact that I think he had a minor build order advantage. Slightly quicker expand. Just had a few more units. Blink was basically identical. This is ShoWTimE. Top left side of Eternity's Edge. We are looking at the main base of our Canadian living in Korea. It is Basilisk Trigger. Fun fact, I'll let you guys know, is that Trigger is becoming a massive Street Fighter fan. Up to the point where he's starting to take Street Fighter like a tiny bit serious, and he's really trying to rise through the ranks. He's been watching pro games, he's been watching videos, and he's been trying to get better at Street Fighter. I believe that he's made pretty good progress already. I hope that he becomes goated. That would be amazing. Hello, Pats fan. Who are the best 7 Terran players? Obviously, when I say it like that, mate, it's a bit tricky. But if you want the best 7, for me, it'd be Clem, Maru, still Beyond. Even if today maybe was not his day. Clem, Maru, Beyond, Cure for sure. And then I'd say Gabe. I know it's been very quiet around the Gumi lately, but I still think Gumi, whenever he's playing, is very good. I think Percival, indeed. Yeah. No, I think this is a very good top 6. I think this is a top 6 that we can all get behind right now. Yeah. I have peace with this top 6. Yeah, Percy absolutely deserves a mention. I have been talking a little bit with Gumi, guys. But it's kind of like a private manner, so I'm not gonna dive into details. But the TLDR is that I do think we can see a bit more of Gumi again in hopefully a month. It's been a tiny bit quiet around him, but he's not gone forever, I promise you guys that. But for now, he's just not playing. But hopefully in a month or 2 months, Gumi will be back in the mix. And he'll be playing quite a bit again too. Oliveira is still very good, as he has showed that obviously at the Dojo Cup as well. But I don't think that... I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Oliveira against Nicorok would be a very fun series. I can try to make it happen in the Big Brain Bouts, but Oliveira is not someone who's in dire need of buckies. So he will only play if he's really in the mood to play. And I don't know if he's in the mood to play show matches. Spirit obviously plays well in the Big Brain Bouts, but outside of the Big Brain Bouts he doesn't play a whole lot. But I think Spirit would probably still be in contention for top 10. Just like Bunny, even if he's a bit out of shape, is in contention for top 10. And obviously Gumio, even when we haven't seen him, is in contention for top 10. I think Utermo and Special are both damn good if they're really trying and they're doing their best. It's close, you know, it's close around those guys. But Nico has his days, and today was definitely a very good day for Nicorok. So both of our Protoss gamers here in the main event of Big Brain Bouts number 126, opening up with Adepts. Trigger Gun, Adept Sentry. Pretty unique combo. ShoWTimE doing the exact same. I don't know how these guys are somehow mirroring each other in both games. Adepts do manage to get in, -3 probes, I think. If I have to guess, oh, he should fire. He will fire. That's number 2. And here I think we should always get number 3 if we choose the right target, but we didn't. He fired twice. But he did not fire twice at a probe. And actually Trigger getting both of the Adepts there. It's pretty big. That's not a bad trade for Trigger, guys. Doesn't make sense that adepts can pass through a force field. Well, it's only the shade that can go through the force field. Like a physical adept like this cannot go through a force field, but the shade can go through. That's what you mean? Yeah, and this is the way that the game was made. I don't have a big issue with that. I can see how some people might not be happy with it. Maybe we have to ask Kyle Hill about it. If anyone could explain this to us, it would be Dr. Kyle Hill, the true science expert of our science esports team. I bet if I would ask Kyle about this, he'd be like, Roddy, what on earth are you asking me? Don't you think I have better things to do than explain to you why an adept can shade through a force field? I mean, if anyone could help us, it's you, Kyle. See if I can make it happen, guys. What is happening here? Why is there a... Do you guys see this? It's kind of bugged, no? That's very silly. I haven't seen this before. It was like the production tab was not certain which gateway it wanted to show, so it was just like alternating between the two. Very odd. Minor bug in our observer interface. Trigger is supply blocked, and it's a pretty big one. It's always worth mentioning, and I do this for our Korean gamers, so of course I'll do this for Trigger as well, that these games are played at a pretty unholy hour. It is very awesome that Trigger said that he was down to play live this time around. Once in a while we let Trigger play earlier if like he has something big in the weekend. Obviously I don't want to keep him up till 4 AM. But I think he was already up late yesterday, so perhaps because his sleep schedule was a tiny bit off, he decided to play these games live today. But it is hard to peak as a gamer at 4 AM. Even if some of the Koreans seem to love that 4 AM gaming. I kind of think everything up till midnight or 1 AM is like acceptable, but past 1 AM there should be a bit of a drop off in performance. Now so far we haven't seen anything that would indicate to us that that's the case for Trigger, but a few minor supply blocks here in game 2. Let's hope he can limit it. Oh my goodness, Poshka with the essay breakdown. I believe you, Pashka. I just want to say that I appreciate your efforts and I absolutely believe it. Thank you. Young gets above after 2 AM. I'm really surprised by the outcome of the other tournament today. That's what I would have had at my bingo card. New copy pasta. You guys are allowed to copy pasta. It's all good. Things have been very gradual in this PvP. Like sometimes PvP obviously is like one player is gonna expand, the other one goes for the proxy 3-gate, 4-gate, proxy robo, whatever. And then it's just like, alright, one-way traffic, you defend, I attack. These two both in game 1 and game 2 are doing a lot of things that are very, very similar to one another. The biggest difference, of course, in game 1 was Trigger keeping his gateways as regular gates, while ShoWTimE eventually went up to like 8. Should have been 9, but he somehow didn't use one of them. Warp gates. ShoWTimE was perhaps taking a look at the replay and he's like, okay, how on earth did you produce that many freaking units when you only had 4 gateways? Why did I spend 600 minerals extra on gateways? Technically 750, but let's go with 6. When you're producing as much as me. So ShoWTimE is kind of copying what Trigger did in game 1, but outside of that still goes for Resonating Glaive. Some of the best counters against Resonating Glaives are Disruptors, Archons to some degree, but Archons mostly like defensively or in very high numbers or with Plasma Shield upgrades. Colossus can actually be pretty good against Adepts, but the problem with Colossus is that you need a Robo Bay and then you need Colossus, you need extended thermal lens. It's so expensive and it takes such a long time that what often happens is that the Adept Stalker player shades the Adepts in, and then all the Stalkers blink forward, they kill the Colossus, and then you don't have an answer for the Adepts anymore. Another very good answer is what Trigger showed us last game. Static defenses, cannons and batteries. Adepts are very good against units, are good in tanking as well, but they're not good in dealing with buildings. I will let you guys take charge of the physics discussion. This is way above my pay grade, especially today, since my headache is fortunately not as bad as it was before, but I feel like I have close to zero brain activity today, and my stomach is upside down. You guys are making me dizzy with your discussion, but I do appreciate it. I love it. I will just try to observe the action and hype up the games. Just know that you're appreciated. I have had many people ask me about how much water. I promise you guys that I've had liters and liters and liters of water. I've got my entire water vase over here as well. Just, I mean, I think honestly tomorrow I'll probably feel a lot better. If I compare how I feel right now to 24 hours ago, I'm already very happy with the progress. We had a lot of rest, we had a lot of water. Painkillers helping out a little bit. Just not quite feeling 100% yet. But I promise I'm trying to take good care of myself. I know I'm not a young man anymore. Couple force fields go down here and there. Guardian Shield gets casted on the side of ShoWTimE. The armies, guys, you see it in the top left, are very, very similar. Nova somehow only connects with the rocks. These rocks are kind of random, by the way, no? I had Korean barbecue yesterday, but unfortunately, I'm very sad about it. I didn't eat a whole lot. Because even in the way towards the restaurant, I was already starting to feel pretty unwell, and just I could not enjoy it. Couldn't really eat the way that I normally eat. Was a bit sad. But I still tried to be good company to my friend who drove all the way from Belgium to hang out with us and wanted to celebrate his birthday a little. At least I was there. I didn't cancel. But it wasn't my finest friend performance. Ooh, that Nova almost went up in the middle of this Stalker army. But it did not go off in the end. ShoWTimE's got 2,000 minerals in the bank and a little bit of gas. It's a base for now. Trigger wants to get the robos and the cannon and the robos and the pylons. He has a dark spine on the way, by the way. That's already worth mentioning. When things turn into base rates, ShoWTimE had a very crazy game today with Gabe, guys. If you guys stumble upon it, it's HeroMarine versus ShoWTimE on the Old Sun Temple of the Pigsty Festival. It really was a very entertaining game, and I highly recommend you guys taking a look at it if you're hungry for more Starcraft. And Group B. Group B, Pigsty Festival number 8, HeroMarine against ShoWTimE on Old Sun Temple. It was fun. Stalkers and Immortals for ShoWTimE. Stalkers, a Sentry and an AFK Immortal for Trigger. These Immortals should probably start putting in some work, because Immortals pack a serious punch. Have very, very high DPS on buildings, so it's a shame to see that Immortal not helping out at all. So, what's the game plan here, guys? Ooh, 3 Disruptors, by the way, guys. 3 Disruptors. Chilling in the main base. The main base of ShoWTimE completely got destroyed. ShoWTimE does have a pretty well deal. Are the units coming? Yes, here are the Disruptors. We fired the Novas, but now Trigger has revealed them. And if I was ShoWTimE, I think I would probably change this down. ShoWTimE is not going to do that yet. Instead, it's the Stalkers that are going to make their way back. So no Arjon. Well, obviously people have asked me, and I'm just not doing it. But the games of the Big Brain Bouts main events will always be uploaded on the Basilisk YouTube channel. So if you do !Basilisk in my chat, they will always be posted there. We knock down the rocks. ShoWTimE makes it a bit more difficult for most of Trigger's units to participate in this fight. Trigger does have +3. ShoWTimE only has +2. We have Immortals and Disruptors on the side. Now a couple of the Stalkers here not fighting. One flanking Disruptor gets a decent shot up. And Trigger just has units coming in from every single angle. ShoWTimE move commenced there for a split second. And to me it felt that ShoWTimE lost a lot of DPS. And because he lost all that DPS, he loses the fight. Lost his production facilities, could not rebuild in time. And it's Trigger who takes the 2-0 lead. Pretty crazy fight. That was the flanking disruptor. This ShoWTimE, like, I mean, it just feels crazy, right? There's units coming in from every angle. Guardian Shield is useful too. Like this little move command. I think we tried to kill one of the disruptors. I don't even know why it fired in the middle of nowhere, but maybe, I mean, I just don't know if that's winnable with +2 against +3. And obviously ShoWTimE lost all the production facilities, while Trigger still had at least a little bit of money to spend. And I think he used that pylon at the bottom side near the gold, so you kind of get like the immediate semi-surround, so to speak. Oh, Trigger looking really freaking good in this PvP. We know that ShoWTimE is always an absolute beast in PvP, has historically been very strong in this matchup. And sure, he's been gone for a tiny bit, playing a bit of Zero Space, but you know, he has obviously put in some practice for the Pigsty Festival as well. And I think whenever you play Protoss, it's inevitable that you start playing a decent amount of PvPs, especially as a European Protoss. But so far, this man playing one of the strongest series that we've seen out of him in a little while. Very impressive stuff. It's not over yet, but so far so good. And he's got ping advantage here in Game 3.
Round 3. Fight.
Top right side of BlackRock, we are looking at the main base of our Canadian fighting for science. It's BASILISK Trigger in the main event of the Big Brain Bouts number 126. Bottom left side of BlackRock, we are looking at the main base of our German Protoss, down 0-2. Can he turn things around? It is ShoWTimE. $200 for the winner of this best of 5 and 50 for the loser. That is of course provided by BASILISK. If you guys do the exclamation mark BASILISK, there is that link to the YouTube channel, and any subs to the YouTube channel are greatly appreciated. But obviously if that's not what you use, but you use something else, whether it's Discord or, I mean, everyone uses YouTube, right? To some degree, I guess. Any support is obviously appreciated, guys. We could not do this. I could not do this without my team. And we are not selling things, but we will ask for your love and support. 126 Fridays is pretty crazy. Obviously proud of it. It's been a really good run so far. We've been doing it for quite a few years at this point. We had like a few Fridays where we dipped out. If I would have known in advance that today was a Friday where I'd be feeling really under the weather, I would have skipped out. But the matches were set, the gamers were looking forward to it, people were looking forward to it, and I'm obviously not cancelling at the last second because I'm not feeling super well. But I hope next Friday you guys will have a very energetic, happy Roddy again. That's at least the goal. Next Friday, Serral is playing. I don't know what we will do. We won't do ZVZ. Of course, I'm not going to ask Serral to play any ZVZs before BlizzCon. That would be very silly. Last time Serral played Max, I don't know. It's tough right now. I mean, Zerg is strong and Serral is mega strong. It's very tough to find a close competitive match for Serral. Maybe we can ask Cure again, since Cure did look very good against Reynor and had a very impressive win. Maybe if Cure wants to play against Serral, we can do that next Friday. By the way, thank you to Dr. Sativa for the 3 months with tier 1, saying peace, Roddy. Peace to you, matey. And Arjun, the main reason for me not streaming on multiple platforms is that I like having the interactions with people. I like talking back and forth. I don't really want to have like 3 or 4 chat boxes to worry about. I just think it becomes overwhelming. And I know that there is a function on YouTube where you can go back immediately. That's kind of nice. And on Twitch that's locked behind a paywall, but I just I don't really see the upside of it. I like streaming on Twitch. It makes me happy. So I'm not really into the multi-streaming. Force field could keep us safe here in case we get chased. Interesting that ShoWTimE decided to go for a Probe Stalker move out here. He does have money for an expander, so it looks like he's just going to expand. He could apply pressure, like 4 Stalkers against 3 Stalkers and a Sentry. This is a fight that could go well for ShoWTimE if there is no shield battery for Trigger. I think Trigger knows that, and that's why he's going to get a battery rather quickly. So he needs to buy a little bit of time, but once Unit 5 and 6 are out, I don't think that our Canadian Protoss has a whole lot to worry about. And now it's ShoWTimE, guys. We actually need to be very cautious. You don't win this. With 4 against 6 units, you don't win it. Snipes a Sentry. This is the best you're ever going to get here, so please just run for the hills. Of course, we always love a science victory here, but we also want close and fun series. So love to see ShoWTimE at least have a good moment or two here in Game 3. Should ask Serral to play on the patches mod. I don't think this is the time to ask that. When he has RSL finals coming up, when he has GSDL coming up. I'm sure Serral has already seen the patches mod. He said he was watching Reynor and Beyond and he really liked it. He said it was very entertaining. But then he also said it was very entertaining because it was so back and forth and was close. And he said that he thinks most of the time when it's 4-3 it's very fun and entertaining. I think maybe if there is like a bit of downtime for Serral, I'm sure he'd be willing to give it a shot. I think right now this is not the right time to ask him. Yeah, I mean, in the end of the day, YouTube is obviously a larger platform than Twitch. I feel like it took a while for like streaming to catch up on YouTube. But in the grand scheme of things, of course, YouTube is a lot larger than Twitch. And maybe one day, mate, I'll never say never, but for now, I like to keep things simple. And I think it's obviously smart and it makes total sense to upload highlights, upload big series on YouTube. So people can watch it back at their own convenience, even if you can watch Twitch VODs too. I personally, I don't have a problem with the Twitch VODs, and I kind of even like reading the chat of the VODs. So, me personally, I'm more of a Twitch VOD watcher than I am a YouTube VOD watcher, but I know a lot of people will mostly use YouTube and not use Twitch at all. Maybe one day, Arjun, but for live streaming, I kind of like Twitch. Never say never. But I kind of, as long as I'm like okay with how everything is going, you know, it's obviously ups and downs. Anything will have ups and downs if you do something for 15 years straight. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm still quite okay. We'll worry about that later, guys. I'm actually very worried here for ShoWTimE because Trigger has gone for an early Dark Shrine. The Dark Shrine is done in the top left side, and ShoWTimE has no Forge. Has no Robo, has no Stargate. I hate to be this guy, but I'm afraid that this game is over. I'm afraid that ShoWTimE is dead, and I'm afraid that the winner of the Big Brain Bouts number 126 is Basilisk Trigger, because Invisible Guy will always beat Guy with no detection. It is that simple. Trigger with the quick Dark Shrine in the top left side gets it done. And ShoWTimE did not think of it, did not scout it, was excited to apply some pressure. And some people may be like, why is he leaving? You're just always dead here. Unfortunately, you're always dead. There is a world where, you know, if you have a probe out, like you send probes in 5 different directions, you try to somehow get a robo up, but you need to win the fight so incredibly hard. There's obviously going to be a defensive DT here too that's going to start chipping away at your army. You're never going to do it in time. Unfortunately, that's a bit of an underwhelming ending to this series, but what we can say is, holy moly, what a performance by this man. He's so back. Basilisk Trigger, 3-0 with ShoWTimE on the Friday evening, which I think is really impressive. Because ShoWTimE is never an easy opponent to defeat. There were even times where Reynor said he would have rather played Maru than ShoWTimE. I know it's different matchups, but we know how much of a beast the D-Mauer can be. Definitely a statement by Trigger. He most certainly still knows how to play this lovely video game. A 3-0